Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of my REI Secret Weapon, where we continue our deep dive into Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is a copy of my version, has an extra chapter in it. Sometimes that gets us off a little bit. And homework, right, in Think and Grow Rich, the action guide by the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Sorry that it took me so long to do this episode. I never dreamed that a 5-page chapter would result in numerous pages of homework to the tune of 26 questions. So, while I was working on the homework to guide you through, I hope that you made time to indulge the reading, right? We're supposed to read the book 3 times and then start doing the homework. So we did the audio recordings. We're working on the homework. That gave you opportunity. My lateness or my delay gave you an opportunity to go through the chapters one more time. Chapter 12, the brain, the 12th step toward riches. The brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. When working in conjunction with the late Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and Dr. Elmer R. Gates, I observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. Through the medium of the ether, in a fashion similar to that employed by the radio broadcasting principle, every human brain is capable of picking up vibrations of thought that are being released by other brains. In connection with the statement in the preceding paragraph, compare and consider the description of the creative imagination as outlined in Chapter 5 on imagination. The creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain that receives thoughts released by the brains of others. It is the agency of communication between our conscious or reasoning mind and the 4 sources from which we may receive thought stimuli. When stimulated or stepped up to a high rate of vibration, the mind becomes more receptive to the vibration of thought that reaches it through the ether from outside sources. This stepping up process takes place through positive emotions or negative emotions. Through the emotions, the vibrations of thought may be increased. Vibrations of an exceedingly high rate are the only vibrations picked up and carried by the ether from one brain to another. Thought is energy traveling at an exceedingly high rate of vibration. Thought, which has been modified or stepped up by any of the major emotions, vibrates at a much higher rate than ordinary thought. And it is this type of thought that passes from one brain to another through the broadcasting machinery of the human brain. Thought is energy traveling at an exceedingly high rate of vibration. The emotion of sex stands at the head of the list of human emotions as far as intensity and driving force are concerned. The brain, stimulated by the emotion of sex, vibrates at a much more rapid rate than it does when that emotion is quiescent or absent. The result of sex transmutation is the increase of the rate of vibration of thoughts to such a pitch that the creative imagination becomes highly receptive to ideas, which it picks up from the ether. On the other hand, when the brain is vibrating at a rapid rate, it not only attracts thoughts and ideas released by other brains through the medium of the ether, but it gives to our own thoughts that feeling that is essential before those thoughts will be picked up and acted on by our subconscious mind. Thus, you will see that the broadcasting principle is the factor through which you mix feeling or emotion with your thoughts and pass them on to your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the sending station of the brain, through which vibrations of thought are broadcast. The creative imagination is the receiving set through which the vibrations of thought are picked up from the ether. Along with the important factors of the subconscious mind and the faculty of the creative imagination, which constitute the sending and receiving sets of your mental broadcasting machinery, consider now the principle of autosuggestion, which is the medium by which you may put into operation your broadcasting station. Through the instructions described in Chapter 3 on autosuggestion, you were definitely informed of the method by which desire may be transmuted into its monetary equivalent. Operation of your mental broadcasting station is a comparatively simple procedure. You have 3 principles to bear in mind and apply when you wish to use your broadcasting station. Number 1, the subconscious mind. Number 2, the creative imagination. And 3, autosuggestion. The stimuli through which you put these 3 principles into action have been described. The procedure begins with desire. If you understand the principle described in Chapter 9 on the mastermind, you of course recognize the round table procedure here described as being a practical application of the mastermind. This method of mind stimulation, through which harmonious discussion of definite subjects between 3 people illustrates the simplest and most practical use of the mastermind. By adopting and following a similar plan, any student of this philosophy may come into possession of the famous Carnegie formula briefly described in previous chapters. So before I begin to tell you about the homework that we're going to work on, celebrate that we've reached 100 subscribers. Yay! So excited. Can't believe that I have 100 of you listening to me, or at least pretending to listen to me, and helping you to train your brain to think and grow rich with me. I want us all to be rich, right? Okay, so my takeaway of the homework, when I lifted the homework out of the book, was very minimal, and boy, was I wrong. So my takeaway, what I thought was the homework from the chapter, was this: train your brain by managing what goes in and out of the broadcast station, the brain. Feed it positivity and starve it from negativity. Train your brain by managing your emotions. Linger in the positive, high vibration feelings. Celebrate it even. Resolve and quickly move on from the negative, low energy feelings. Remind them that they have no place here. And then collaborate and partner with others who have also trained their brains in this fashion. Again, boy, was I wrong about what the homework entailed. Important summary points. Every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. The creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain, which receives thoughts released by the brains of others. Through the emotions, the vibrations of thought may be increased. The brain that has been stimulated by the emotion of sex vibrates at a much more rapid rate than it does when that emotion is dormant or absent. The broadcasting principle is the factor through which you mix feeling or emotion with your thoughts and pass them on to your subconscious mind. Take action. The following is a self-analysis designed to help you examine aspects of yourself that you may take for granted or have never really thought about previously as being important to who you really are, where you really want to go, and what you really want to accomplish in life. Seriously consider each question, answer it, and then take action as soon as possible. And I'll tell you, of these 26 questions, I really struggled with some of them. And that's part of what took so long. And then some of you know that I was sick for a while. I had about 6 or 7 weeks where I thought that I was not going to be in this world much longer. I was terribly sick. So I got really behind, and I apologize again for the delay. But I hope that you took advantage of the time to go over the content again. Okay, question number 1. And you guys are going to take some time doing this homework too. And then we'll go next month, we'll move on to chapter 13. And chapter 13, if I obviously don't remember, chapter 13 is, so the 6th sense, the 13th step toward riches. So we're getting really close to being not only all of the audio recordings having been released, but we're almost done with our homework. Yay! And then we can just start thinking and growing rich, right? Okay. Number 1, have I attained the goal I established as my objective for this year? You should work with a definite yearly objective to be attained as part of your major life objective. Write down your yearly objective and describe the details of your success or failure in attaining this goal. Excuse me. Write down your yearly objective and describe the details of your success or failure in attaining this goal. Of my 12 primary objectives for the year, I have already achieved 4. I have abandoned 1, and I'm still actively working the others. And just as a reference point for those of you who are just joining us, you may not have gotten this far in the series, or you may have forgotten, but I myself, I choose 2 primary goals for each of my businesses and for myself personally. So I choose 2 personal goals, 2 goals for my REI secret weapon, 2 goals for Avon, 2 goals for Sure Would Be Nice, and 2 goals for Adventures by Renee. So each one has 2 primary goals, and I keep those near my desk so I see them at all times, so I know what I'm supposed to be focusing on for the year. If I can build my team more quickly, I can tackle bigger strides towards success. Having said that, my word for the year is teams, and I am very focused on attracting the right people to build with me. The 2 AJs are a good start. I have other people that I'm working into the mix as well, but we're not there yet. Question number 2, have I delivered a service or products of the best possible quality, or could I have improved any part? Write down the evidence of your success or failure in this area, and finally, the ways you can improve your quality of service. This question also points to the above focus, my focus for the year on teams. As long as I continue to be a one-man band, my quality will be in jeopardy. As I plug people into some of the routine and simpler tasks, as well as those that I'm not great at or I don't really enjoy, I can focus on the things that I excel at and that my clients and my customers rely on me to deliver, right? So certain things don't necessarily need to be done by me. They can be delegated. And there are certain things that I need to have my finger on the pulse and actually actively participate in. Having more of me will allow me to hit that goal. Question number 3, have I delivered service in the greatest possible quantity of which I was capable? Write down 2 ways in which you could improve the quantity of your products or service. Again, teams. I work at the greatest level and volume that I personally can manage on my own. I need more of me to work all the angles. So I need more of me in order to provide a greater quantity of what I'm doing. Another of my 12 objectives is to lean in to the automation within the CRMs that I'm using. Into automation within the CRMs I subscribe to, yes, that I'm using. Lean into the features and functions available to me to simplify my processes and do less hands-on repetitive tasks, right? Iterate, automate, and expand, right? Create, find tools to simplify and streamline the process, and grow and keep that life cycle moving. Number 4, has the spirit of my conduct been harmonious and cooperative at all times? Give 1 example of success in this area and 1 example of failure. Write down 2 ways to improve teamwork within your company. I don't really have a team, so I skip that part. But I am naturally a cheerleader rather than a critic. I prefer to lift folks up rather than tear them down. And people often share that I'm a joy to work with. I recently felt ill for several weeks and openly expressed my discomfort and emotional state on several occasions, which could be someone could say that I'm not being harmonious and cooperative while I'm down with an illness. I was not at the best of my ability, obviously. Number 5, have I permitted the habit of procrastination to decrease my efficiency? And if so, to what extent? Write about 1 method of reducing procrastination while improving efficiency. I am seldom a procrastinator. I prefer action and problem solving. I am far more prone to trying to do too much at once rather than putting things aside to do later. The best way to avoid procrastination is to focus on your why, what is your purpose, and keep it in your face at all times so that you can't forget what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. Number 6, have I improved my personality? And if so, in what ways? What part of your personality still needs to be improved and why? I'm trying to learn patience with smart people who have forgotten reading comprehension skills and recognize that as people continue to lean into their digital tools and now artificial intelligence, communication skills, reading comprehension, and basic common sense will continue to decline. And as that declination occurs, I need to supercharge my patience. I have a tendency to get really frustrated with people that are educated and that other people look up to as being incredibly smart, advisory positions, right? And those people, in my opinion, are starting to fail that average consumer. All right, so question number 7. Have I been persistent in following my plans through to completion? What are 2 examples of your persistence in the face of difficulty or obstacles? Persistence is one of my middle names. Just joking. I only have 1 middle name. I have been very goal-oriented since childhood. Taekwondo with my daughter was something that really shined a spotlight on my persistence. We would take 2 to 3 buses to the dojo and then 2 to 3 buses home with lots of walking in between after taking very intense Taekwondo classes. And we did this for several years. Life is hard, but I'm harder. So many challenges, tragedies, and obstacles throughout life, starting in the womb. 20 years as a single working mom with MS. Any questions about that? Difficult difficulty or obstacle in the face of my persistence. I would say that I am kind of a poster child for persistence and determination. Number 8, have I reached decisions promptly and definitely on all occasions? Give an example of a time you made a prompt decision and it positively affected your business or work. Even though I'm having cash flow issues at the moment, I invested a small amount to help a new associate with her business because I knew that both of us would benefit. In the same short week, I invested a small amount to sponsor a meeting that allowed me to address a room of 40 people about my products and services. Okay. Number 9, have I permitted any one or more of the 6 basic fears discussed in chapter 14 to decrease my efficiency? What will you do to confront that fear moving forward? Occasionally, I will be in my feelings. Self-doubt sometimes nips at me. I stay on top of keeping that one in check because it tries to talk in my ear a lot. When I'm in my feelings, I might indulge in nonsense such as garbage TV, a video game on my phone, or even go down rabbit holes of research about things that aren't necessarily relevant to the pursuit of my goals. But of course, when my bank accounts are in the negative, the fear of poverty tries to derail me. But overall, I feel like I have strong focus and I really don't indulge these feelings very often. And I, I rarely watch TV or play video games, but I do often go down rabbit holes of research. Number 10, have I been either overcautious or undercautious? Give an example of each in your work and write down your idea of what you will do next time. It's kind of a requirement of my profession to be overly cautious on my clients' behalves. However, I occasionally allow myself to be too trusting and compassionate when it comes to my own due diligence processes for myself. I'm leaning into my professional mindset for my own protection by treating myself as if I were one of my clients, so that in the future I will make smarter decisions. Number 11, has my relationship with my associates been pleasant or unpleasant? If unpleasant, has the fault been partly or wholly mine? Reflect on your work relationships and write down the details of a key relationship that needs improvement. I rarely have disagreements or conflict with my associates or clients. I am an easygoing person who actively listens and seeks solutions. I didn't really know what else to say about that. Number 12, have I dissipated any of my energy through lack of concentration of effort? Write down your assessment of your ability to concentrate. While I was ill recently for a long period of time, I was unable to maintain the same momentum, responsiveness, or efficiency. I keep trying to get back into my groove. Slow progress is still progress. Now, I did these questions out of order. Some of them I struggled to answer. I struggled with more than others, so it delayed me. This was early on in the homework process. I'm feeling much better. I'm still a little behind, but I am getting back on track for sure. Question number 13, have I been open-minded and tolerant in connection with all subjects? What is one subject that causes you to shut down or close your mind to possibilities? I strive to be open-minded, tolerant, and compassionate. Currently, current events politics, and the economy is likely to lose my interest very quickly. I am sensitive to negativity and low vibrational emotions. What you focus on becomes the reality you dwell in. I prefer to find common ground to help one another succeed than to dwell on the differences that pull us apart and tear one another down. So, what do I shut down? I don't want to even listen to the possibilities when we're talking about current events or politics. Outside of that, I'm your girl. Let's talk. Let's brainstorm. Let's figure out how to make it work. Number 14, in what way have I improved my ability to render service? Write down a key area of improvement within your company or workspace. Adopting my case as CRM is going to allow me to serve more people and manage their cases and my time much better, enhance communication with them, and maximize my results and their successes. Number 15, have I been intemperate in any of my habits? Write down some bad habits that you are trying to overcome, and what will you replace them with? I have strived to be an early bird for more than 30 years. I try lots of techniques to reset my circadian rhythms. They keep telling me that all successful people are early risers. If that is the only ingredient I'm missing, I will keep trying. But sleeping in is really, I stay up really late. So if sleeping in is a form of being intemperate, I'm guilty. But I do earnestly try constantly to be an early bird. And I continue to be a night owl. Number 16, have I expressed either openly or secretly any form of egotism? Write down 2 ways in which an inflated sense of self-importance can detract from your business or work. I can have a pretty big ego at times. I think my personality profiles, my astrological placements, and years of mindset training can make it fairly inevitable that I think very highly of myself and exude confidence. The important part is that I balance that with humility and compassion. Be kind, be nice. Otherwise, you become a narcissist rather than a strong leader. Number 17, has my conduct toward my associates induced them to respect me? Write down 2 reasons you feel that your associates respect you. What part of your conduct might cause a lack of respect? I try to treat everyone with respect, kindness, and focus. I listen carefully and add lots of value without compensation to the community at large. Everyone knows I take my mission statement very seriously. I want everyone to win, and I don't think anyone doubts my sincerity that I truly want all of us to win. What part of your conduct might cause a lack of respect? I had no answer for that because I always try to act in such a way that I show respect, so I expect to receive respect back. Number 18, have my opinions and decisions been based on guesswork or accuracy of analysis and thought? Write down an example of a decision-making process that brought successful results, and how can you replicate that? As a lifelong legal professional, I subscribe to facts and evidence and reasoning. Research and data are second nature to me. Now, if I could just find the way to add these 3 principles to my romantic life. Number 19, have I followed the habit of budgeting my time, expenses, and income, and have I been conservative in these budgets? Are you more successful managing your time than your finances, or the opposite? What can you do to improve management of both of these key areas of life? At the moment, I'm simply trying to juggle everything and get by somehow. Budgets of time and money are in the deficit. I'm not quite to the stage of robbing Peter to pay Paul, but it is certainly a day-by-day endeavor. I see traction and momentum turning my way. Question number 20. How much time have I devoted to unprofitable effort that I might have used to better advantage? Write down 2 work or business endeavors that you now see as time wasted. What would you do differently next time? Lots of vendor shows and resource fairs that I have participated in have been total busts. Little or no sales and few or no new customers. However, I choose not to see my time as wasted. While such endeavors may not have been profitable in the short term, fueled by my persistence and determination, my creative thinking kicked in to find new and innovative ways to reach new customers and clients who need my goods and services. Question 21. How may I rebudget my time and change my habits so I will be more efficient during the coming year? Write down 1 habit that you consider a time waster in your life that you can overcome. How will you overcome it? While this question asks what type of time-wasting habits I can break to be more efficient, I run pretty lean with my time, and I do need mental breaks on occasion. I'm not a machine, right? My goal is to make my time more efficient and effective, and that has been my mantra for 2025. Attract the mastermind and build my teams. Create streams of income for lots of other people so that will actually supercharge my time investment. Number 22, have I been guilty of any conduct not approved by my conscience? Is there something about the way you are living that you are not at peace with? What will you do to change it? I want to have more fun, enjoy more time with friends and family, and explore the world. I feel guilty for not leaning into that more with my newfound self-employment, but my rocky start is keeping me focused on building my future by scraping by through the now. Number 23, in what ways have I rendered more service and better service than I was paid to render? Write down 2 examples of going above and beyond. As a matter of course, my pricing is intentionally affordable for small business owners and real estate investors. I am open and I'm open sharing with my clients. I'm open to sharing with my clients and potential leads, offering lots of free information. I don't know what that sentence is supposed to mean, but it's how I render more and better service that I often give more value than I expect to be compensated for. And I give away a lot of it. Excuse me. So sorry. Lots of free information around the community. Question number 24. Have I been unfair to anyone? And if so, in what way? Write down the details of the situation and what you can and did to make it right. A tenant's unauthorized guest has accused me of being unfair, but then has been unable to quantify that allegation. Overall, I strive to bring more value than I expect to receive in compensation. As a fan of truth and justice, I always try to consider what is fair and equitable in all transactions. Question number 25. If I had been the purchaser of my own services for the year, would I be satisfied with my purchase? Write a review of your product or service as if you were a paying customer. For the purposes of this exercise, I will rate my REI secret weapon since I spend the most time building this particular business. Renee is certainly my secret weapon. She understands well the challenges and pitfalls facing most business owners and real estate investors. She deploys her vast knowledge and experience in a compassionate and friendly manner, and she always keeps me on the right track toward grand success. And lastly, question number 26. Am I in the right vocation? And if not, why not? If you are in the right vocation, write down the details of how you know this. I'm extremely good at what I do in making people understand why it's important. The profession is so ingrained in my psyche and my muscle memory and my sense of purpose that my family and friends often tease me, sometimes not teasing, that I'm always in the headspace of making money, innovation, and expanding my knowledge banks and network. I'm always expanding my knowledge banks and network. 26 was not the last question, excuse me. Number 27 is the last question. Has the purchaser of my services been satisfied with the service I have rendered? If not, why not? Write down a received complaint and compliment of your service or product. My customers generally love how easy I make things for them and often comment how educated I am in many subjects and how I can bring all the pieces together for them. Occasionally, someone will complain that they don't understand what services I'm providing to them, but I don't mind re-educating them because people need to hear things repeatedly in order for them to become muscle memory. I can't wait to hear your feedback. Please feel free to comment. Let me know what you thought of the homework. Let me know what you are struggling with in the homework. Let me know if I missed anything while I was doing the homework. If this is bringing value to you and you want to bless me in some way, you can send me some gifts either via Venmo, which is Havon Fun with Renee, HAVONWITHRENEE. I accept PayPal, which is info@b&b locationservices.com. Don't forget that's the word and not the symbol. Or if we're out and about in the community and you see me, feel free to buy me a cocktail or a meal, slide some cash in my pocket, whatever feels comfortable to you. I'm not doing this for compensation. I'm doing this so that we all can win. But I do realize that sometimes people, when they're feeling like they want to do something for someone special in response to value that they've received. So I'm making that opportunity available to you, not necessarily asking you right to pay for this service. Again, my REI secret weapon, T. Renee Buster. Visit my website, myreisecretweapon.com. You can also purchase Avon products at rbuster.avonrepresentative.com. And keep an eye out. Let's see, where am I at? Facebook and GroupMe, Adventures by Renee, where we are making travel better experience for people with disabilities and special needs. So if you know someone who needs a little more hand-holding for their travel, feel free to send them my way. In the meantime, here's to your success. Keep reading, keep doing the homework, and keep thinking about your goals and how to achieve them. Good night, everybody. Take care.